here, we are going to start to use the factor and the remainder theorem kind of interchangeably and back and forth whenever we need it. So this first one says, determine the remainder when this is divided by this. So we're obviously using the remainder theorem, and we are going to sub in. So we're going to take this and go, okay. Remainder theorem tells me that when I do f at -7 and I sub it in, I'm going to get the remainder. So it's going to be -7 to the 3, 7, -7 squared. Okay, and I can use any numbers. We're not afraid of big numbers. 343 minus 14 minus 5. I added that together and I got -19. Right, so a little bit of calculator work there. Right, and that's it. So therefore, the remainder is, and you can just state it. You don't have to say by the remainder theorem. Okay, if I ask you to prove it by something or explain, then you would do more, but that's it. We're just using the remainder theorem. Okay, so no need to explain. So the remainder theorem tells you that when you sub in that number, whatever number you get back is the remainder. Gorgeous. And now we're going to go backwards and forwards. So I'm going to say, hey, I found out that the remainder is 8. What was the original function? Right? And I gave you part of it. Right? And I can say, what's the divisor if this is the remainder? So backwards and forwards. I'm going to give you a little hint. So determine the value of k. So we're missing the k right there. When it's divided by x plus 2, and I got a remainder of 8. Right? So we're setting this up. So it's backwards and forwards. So what I'm telling you from here, it's divided here, and it has a remainder of 8. That, by the remainder theorem, is telling me that f at -2 equals 8. When I subbed in -2 into here, I got 8 back. The reason why I wrote it here is because now I'm going to have to sub in -2 into this whole thing. So if you're wondering why I wrote it in the middle, it was on purpose. So I want you to sub in. So this is this statement here. That told me this. I divided it by x plus 2, and I got 8 back. So now let's sub it into this guy. 4 times -2 cubed plus k times -2 squared minus -2 plus 6 equals 8. So you're subbing in -2 into the function here, into that expression here, and then you're setting it equal to 8. That's -8, so -32 plus 4k plus 2 plus 6 equals 8. Okay, I'm just solving everything here. So I'm going to go 4k equals 2 plus 6 is 8. I brought that over 0, brought the 32 over, it's 32. Okay, you might take a couple extra steps and then divide both sides by 4, so k is 8. That's it. It just says determine the value of k. You don't have to state a theorem, you just have to find it. Okay, ready? And next one. So then one more time, again, they're just trying to ask you backwards and forwards. The remainder is when that is 5, right, is divided by x plus 6. That's all one statement. The remainder when this expression is divided by 5 is 6. So I'm going to put that together. So the remainder is 5 when divided by that. That's one statement. Okay, and I'm separating this because the remainder is, look, it's 2 sentences. The remainder is 5 when divided by 6 and is -70 when divided by plus 1, x plus 1. So this is actually 2 of this. So C and B, we have, this is the remainder when I divide it by that. This is 2 of them. The reason why there's 2 is, look, I want you to find m and n. It's going to be 2 equations with 2 unknowns. We're going to do a linear system, right? So 2 equations for the m and n. We're going to do equation 1, equation 2, and then match them up. So back to grade 10 linear systems. Right? We used it a little bit in grade 10 and 11. Okay, so we're going to do 2 equations. So I'm going to set it up the same way as I did here. I'm going to do 1 and 2, match them up, and then do it this way. So I'm going to do 1 over here. I'll do this one here. So it's 5 when divided by x plus 6. So I'm going to go f at negative 6 equals 5. So I'll do that one. I'll just highlight it. That's my yellow one here. So it's 5 when divided by x plus 6. And then I'm just going to do a line. I do it with a ruler, just I'm trying to be neater, because you guys have to follow my writing. And then over here, I'm going to do it's negative 70 when it's divided by x plus 1. So we're going to go f at negative 1 equals negative 70. Okay, and that's from this statement. So just my 2 statements. Okay, don't write too big. We're going to do 2 equations, then we're going to match them up together. Okay, so for this one, negative 6. So don't write too big. Sorry, I didn't leave a ton of space. So n, negative 6 cubed, 17, negative 6 squared, m, negative 6 minus 67 equals 5. Okay, and then this I'm just going to go negative 216n plus 612 minus 6m minus 67 equals 5. I brought it all over, right? So I kept m and n together. So negative 216n minus 6m equals, and I already brought this over, and I found it was negative 540. Okay. That's one equation, right? I have one equation with 2 unknowns. You are allowed to divide everything to reduce it if you want. You don't have to. So again, I'm not going to reteach you grade 10. It's up to you. I used to like to always simplify this as far as I could. You don't have to. It works either way. So if I wanted to, I could divide this whole thing by negative 6, right? Sorry, negative 6. Okay, you don't have to. If you don't want to, you can just leave it as is. I divided everything by negative 6. Okay, and again, you don't have to. So negative 6. Then I got 36n plus m equals, and I just saw, because that was divisible by 6 as well, right? 90. Okay, so I like it when the numbers are small. You don't have to do it, but it does make your life a little bit easier. Okay, and that is my equation 1. I got one equation. We're going to do the same thing here, and then we're going to have 2 equations, and then we're going to match them up together. So negative 1 goes in, so n negative 1 cubed, 17 negative 1 squared, m times negative 1 minus 67 equals negative 70. So this is negative n plus 17 minus m, and then negative n minus m equals, and bring that over, it ends up being negative 50, so positive 50, so negative 20. Okay. Again, if you want to, you can multiply everything by negative or positive or divide by negative 1. Up to you. I'm just going to leave that as my equation 2. Okay, so 2 equations with 2 unknowns. Your choice now. You can substitute or eliminate. It's up to you, right? So substitution or elimination. I usually just write one above the other, the elimination, but you can do substitution. Again, I won't ever tell you which one you have to do. I'm just going to drag this one under here. So this will be negative n minus m equals negative 20. And then I can just add them together because, look, these guys cancel out. So then I get 35n equals, oh, look at that. I gave you a nice number. Isn't that pretty? Right, first the numbers are like crazy, but look, I gave you a nice number. It works out to be 2. Am I done? Nope. Got to find, read the question, M, right? So going to find, so just tell me a title, right, what you're doing, find M, and I'm going to sub it into 1 or 2. 2 is easier, just smaller numbers. Again, doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to sub it in here when n equals 2. I'm going to sub it in, so it'll be -2 minus m equals -20. I'll bring the m over. That gets me 18 equals m. And then I usually try to do some sort of conclusion when it works all over. I go, therefore, n equals 2, m equals 18. Right, bring it all together. Okay. Any questions?